Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only skies. Imagine all the people living for today. Ooh, imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Ooh, you may say I'm a dreamer. Whoa, but I'm not the only one. Ooh, hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as a world. Thank you.
To carry on John Lennon's Imagine theme, just for a second. Imagine a world where leaders go beyond just making revenue and profit numbers, where they focus on love and care. Imagine a world where leaders go beyond carrots and sticks, where they focus on purpose, principles, passion. Imagine a world where leadership goes beyond win at all costs, where leadership is generative, cooperative, creative, inclusive, empathetic. That is the world that Shakti Leadership seeks to enable.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I had known I was going to be speaking after Marie and Vijay, I would have called in sick. But I'm stuck here now. It's too wet to go out. Well, it's a good omen that it's raining outside on this special day, as we say in India. So I think it's also appropriate that we stand here today under the shadow of greatness, the shadow of noble Jamshedji. We at Taj count our lucky stars every day that we have his hand above our head, and I think you do too. As we gather here to launch this book that is more than just about carrots and sticks and profits, I think it's only appropriate to take a moment to reflect that Tatas have been the custodians of a tradition of philanthropy for about 150 years only that has touched and changed countless lives and will continue to do so. They have showed us, and I think if I can take the liberty of saying they have showed you, how corporations can do good and do well and change the world. It is indeed entirely possible to make this world a better place and be extremely profitable. Jamshedji said famously, "We do not claim to be more unselfish." Look at the choice of his words. We do not claim to be more unselfish, more generous, or more philanthropic than other people. But we think. We started on sound and straightforward business principles, considering the interests of the shareholders as our own, and the health and welfare of our employees, the sure foundation of our success. Those words were true then, in 1869, when he was 29 or 30 years old, and they're true today, many, many decades later. Of course, today the day belongs to Nilima and Raj, We're fortunate to be in their company to launch this important work that will become, in my humble opinion, a timeless piece of work which will transcend many, many academic principles. Nilima, as most of you know, is a facilitator of personal transformation, coaching individuals and organizations in their quest for conscious business, women in leadership, and self-awareness for work-life balance, as well as Indian wisdom and wellness traditions. She has, of course, coached her husband Vijay, who now is coaching full-time. So it's all kept within the family. Raj does not remember me. I wasn't hurt. I was a very small potato in a big audience in Texas 3 years ago. But I remember him well. He left a very strong impression upon me. And this afternoon, he was generous enough to spend two and a half hours with my colleagues. And one of them wrote to me and said, "I can't thank you enough for doing this for me." And I said to myself, "What am I, chopped liver? You never thank me. And here I introduce you to somebody, now you want to thank me for that." But I can understand her emotions. Raj is the F.W. Olin Distinguished Professor of Global Business and Whole Foods, Market Research Scholar in Conscious Capitalism at Babson's College in Boston. Raj is also co-founder and co-chairman of Conscious Capitalism, Inc. He's written many books, only about 8, and I'm sure there's another 20 to come, since he only turned 58 2 days ago. So long and wide runway. Raj is the best known as also the co-author of the best-selling book, Conscious Capitalism, with the founder of Whole Foods, John Mackey. Nilima and Raj have put forward a compelling argument for restoring the national balance of leadership in corporations. Actually, their premise is quite simple, and that's the irony of our lives, that the simple premises need to be written in books and celebrated on evenings like this for us to remember, things that we actually should remember. That business has a purpose beyond profits, that the argument for a new vision of leadership led by principles of Shakti is both powerful and insightful for sustaining our future, for sustaining this planet for our people that inherit it from us. This book, of course, provides a series of powerful insights and processes for connecting yourself to the inner power at play in interpersonal situations at all times. Raj is an eminent thought leader of the conscious capitalism movement and has joined hands with author, visionary, and conscious leadership expert Nilima, who facilitates personal transformation through self-awareness, self-leadership, and self-empowerment. They highlight the need for a higher purpose in business that will create value for all interdependent stakeholders, for leaders who believe in being of selfless service to the world, and for a culture that promotes empathy. Empathy is a word that should come naturally to us, but many of us tend to park it somewhere in a filing cabinet till we are in desperate need of empathy ourselves. It happens to the best of us. Together, they have helped breathe consciousness into capitalism. Conscious business are those that serve, align, and integrate the interests of all their major stakeholders. And ultimately, it is the leaders who can make these changes, and conscious leaders are driven by service to the company's purpose, to all the people the business touches, and to the planet we all share. I don't normally read my speeches, but I'm reading this because these words are so important, and they represent the soul of these two folks, and I don't want to miss a single word. Conscious leaders endeavor to create financial, intellectual, social, cultural, emotional, spiritual, physical, and ecological wealth for all their stakeholders. It is written for those willing to step out of the hierarchy and into new rhythms of collaboration and invention, welcoming intuition into boardrooms and harmony into hearts. Today, Raj spent a lot of time talking about love and care. So as you can see, emotional intellect is something that plays a big part in everything these both Raj and Nilima do. I thank you both, Nilima and Raj. I thank you for writing this book because it will benefit our future generations to come. I thank you for being here under the roof of Taj, in the shadow of Jamshedji, and I wish you both success and good health and lots of happiness. Thank you.